The way that I see it, AI is just another tool, another means to an end. And as with all tools, if used right, you can create beautiful things. What you're seeing here is a fully animated portfolio website that I made with AI in about 2 hours. It opens with a flicker animation where one image cycles through the 7 photos in the center of the screen. Then the images spread out horizontally into a row that slowly drifts from the right to the left, and this is called a ticker effect, and each image represents a project. When you click on a project, the gallery pauses, a white block covers the entire screen, and the image relocates to the right side where you can scroll down to see the project details. And finally, there's the info page that slides in from the top with a black panel and a fade in for the image, the paragraphs and the quote. In today's video, I'll walk you through exactly how I built this from start to finish, and make sure to stick around till the end because I prepared a small free gift for you as a thank you for watching. Before I start prompting in Claude code, I sketched the concepts for the website in Figma, and the purpose of these sketches is to show Claude what I'm referring to when I give it a text prompt later. And Claude won't replicate your images 100% accurately, plus the text prompts will be prioritized by Claude, so these designs are more like a backup for when the model needs to know something that it doesn't fully understand from the text prompts alone. This sketch here is what becomes the initial state for the loading animation of the website, and I chose this large bold font as a statement font. Here I created the concept for the homepage, and this doesn't have to be 100% accurate. I eyeballed the button placement and the sizes, and I reused the same placeholder text because these are all things that I will more accurately describe and tweak with the text prompts. And then when you click on an image, the project page should open, so I created a full project page reference here. I just placed the text and images on the canvas in a way that feels right to me with lots of white space. And I don't use any grids here, as I will later in the prompt mention a specific width for these sections. This is the last design that I created for the About Me page, and I inverted the colors here just to keep things interesting and clearly distinguish it from the project pages. And I went for another minimalistic design where the photography takes center stage. I do this by using lots of white space to give the images room to breathe. And it's not just pleasant to the eye, it also keeps the focus on the projects itself. For the images I use NanoBanana in Higgsfield, and I'm not sponsored or affiliated with them in any way. I just like using Higgsfield because that way I can stay organized by easily referring to images without switching between programs, which is ideal for creating photo shoots like this one. I started with images from my own free-to-use website AIPlayfield.com, and I selected images with a consistent warm tone style, and you can download and use all the images and prompts on AIPlayfield for free. So to make a photo shoot out of these starting images, I opened Higgsfield and uploaded the starting image as a reference. And then I selected NanoBanana and a vertical 3:4 ratio. Then I add the prompt for the pose of the model. And I also used AIPlayfield to quickly copy and paste different poses for the models. With the assets ready, I pasted in the first prompt in Claude code, and there are a few things that I want to highlight from it. The first thing is the order of the images in the flip animation at the start. I end the animation with the center image because I want this image to stay in the center when the row spreads out. So the fourth image, which is the image in the center, will become the last one in the flip animation, so it lands and it stays in place. I also built this prompt section by section, and this is something that I talked about in my previous videos as well. So what I basically do in this prompt is describing an opening state, and then a transition, and then a resting state. So the opening state is the first section. This is the word mark with the flipping images. And the resting state is the second section, the horizontal row with the 7 projects. And then by showing and describing both states, I can create a smooth transition from the first one to the second one. And this is how I create these more advanced animations, by building them section by section. The font that I used is Fig 3, and this is a free sans serif font, very minimalistic, and it has that similar look and feel as Inter, a beautiful modern look, especially when you use it with almost no colors like I did here, only gray tones to get that minimalistic look. To create hierarchy in the text, I described the subheadings in a medium weight and full black, and then the body text in a regular weight and dark gray. It's a subtle difference, but enough to show the difference between headings and body text, and it contributes to the minimalistic style that I'm going for. The first result was not perfect, but it actually looks worse than it is because most of the idea it got right. It got the initial flip animation correct and it got the ticker animation correct. It is more so a placement issue. The word mark was vertically centered instead of aligned at the top, and the horizontal scrolling row was already in frame when it shouldn't have been. I mentioned to only use each image once and to spread them out evenly without duplicates. I also told it to check the reference image for the placement of the Burnett logo, because the logo should be aligned at the top during the loading state and not centered vertically. And before I gave it the actual instructions to fix things, I first explained what went wrong, and then I asked Claude to explain to me if it understood what I thought the issue was. And I do this very often when something goes wrong and I'm not entirely sure what's causing the issue. And funny enough, when it does understand, it explains the issue so much better than I do. And that's what happened here as well. So after that, I just replied with, okay, you understand the issue, now please make the adjustments. And then it worked perfectly. And this is just one of those small techniques that can really improve your prompting by asking the model if it understands you before it starts making changes. Once I was happy with the loading transition and the gallery, I moved on to the next section, which was the project page. And I want to add an individual page for each project that also opens with a custom animation. I first described the hover state of an image. When you hover over a project, all the other images should dim. Then I described what should happen when you click an image. And the most interesting thing about this prompt is that I described the animations in a way where they only happen one after the other. And this is important because this gives that slow, luxurious feel to the transition. So when you click an image, a white block covers the entire website, hiding the gallery. And then after that, and that's important, after that the clicked image relocates to the right side and centers to the right half of the screen. And after that relocation, a second image fades in on the left side, and then the user can scroll down to see the project details. The only thing remaining now is the info page, and I prompt for a similar kind of animation where the entire screen fills up with a block, but this time with a black block that covers the entire website except for the navigation. And then one at a time the image fades in on the left, then the paragraphs on the right, and then the quote underneath. I added the reference image and it got it on the first try. The main takeaway of this video is that the AI tool is not what made this website look the way it does, but you as a user carefully art directing and prompting thoughtfully is what will make it look this way. Claude and Nano are just tools that are very good at translating your input into code and visuals, and in my opinion that's the most useful way of thinking about working with any AI tool really. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to see more designs that are built with AI, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And as a thank you for your support, I added all the prompts and the actual website files as a free download in the description, so you can use these animations in your own website designs. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.